I'm Mary Schindler, and this is the Greatest Day interview with Nicole.
Awesome. Okay, so when did you start writing music?
I started writing music when I was about 9, or maybe 8-ish.
What kind of music did you play the guitar at that point? Or?
Played a tennis racket. No, I played. I got a guitar when I was 9, so yeah, I lied. It was really 9 when I started.
What kind of songs did you make up?
Tragic love songs. My first song was called "Neverlasting Love."
Can you sing a bit for us?
I really don't remember it. I just remember "Neverlasting Love" was like the chorus, and the rest of my life.
Expand on that.
Well, it hasn't been always an easy time.
And is that reflected in your music?
Yes, totally.
What on your CD? Who is Billy? I like that song.
Oh, well, he was actually a guy who, when I was in college, who I liked, and he was also a guitarist, and he turned me on to Bruce Springsteen music, and so I wrote a song about him because I thought he was cool.
Are most of your songs autobiographical?
Yes.
Which song is the most autobiographical in your songs?
Geez. Maybe Sweet Pretend.
And why?
Maybe. Because that was the day that I told my mom at the Sizzler that I was gay. And so upon hearing that, she, didn't really like that so much. My brother was also gay. I mean, still is. And so we're both adopted. So it was like, wow, 2 out of 2. What are the odd chances of that? So then I wrote Sweet Pretend because it was about telling my mom and what she thought about it.
Has she heard it?
Oh yeah, she heard it.
Did she like it?
Well, wait. I don't know if she heard it, to tell you the truth. I don't think I've ever. My mom has passed since then, but I don't think. I think she heard the CD, but I don't know that she really knew what that was.
You didn't say it was about the Sizzler moment.
No, no, I did not.
So you are a teacher also,
Yes.
and you dedicated your
30 years. Oh, go ahead.
Wow.
No.
No. You're retiring this year. You dedicated your album to the school where you...
Main Street.
Yeah, Main Street, where you taught. Is that
Yeah.
where you went also?
No. It was a school. My first job as a teacher, it was in South Central LA. It was called Main Street. And when I got the job, I was so excited about getting a job that I just wrote... This is the only song I've ever written without a guitar, and I just wrote it I was just tapping it on the steering wheel, and I was singing it, and it just came out. So that's, it was a great experience.
Do you sing to your students?
I don't sing that one. Actually, I have sung it to them. To my students, I make up silly songs. The most infamous is the cheeseburger song. That's what they always ask for.
Sing it. Yeah,
with the guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going to continuously ask you to sing things.
Well, the cheeseburger song was written during Main Street, and it goes like this. It goes, cheeseburger, cheeseburger, I love you. You're my favorite thing to chew. Lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, please. Don't forget the cheese. Don't forget the cheese. Don't forget the cheese. And then we just sing it over and over and over again in different voices and whispering it or shouting it, and they really like that one.
That's great. What do you think about, because you teach kids, and I won't keep going in this direction, but there's a lot of sexualization in the music industry that I think is becoming more and more. What do you think about that?
sure. I probably don't think it's that great. Maybe. I just grew up with music more like, the Beatles and Motown, and of course it was more about love than about sex, and it had both, but I just think it's just off the rails.
What's your favorite song that's currently playing?
I like Father John Misty a lot. I don't know if he's currently playing. Yeah, I guess they play him on KCRW. Pop music. What else do I like? I don't know.
Is there something that you listen to in the car that people would be surprised that you listen to? Or at home?
I listen to KCRW a lot. But I listen to 102.7, so Ariana Grande, all those people. Yeah, I probably feel more comfortable listening to stuff I liked before, but I do like a lot of today's music too. I like some rap music a lot. Like I love Beyonce. She's not a rapper.
Do you listen to yourself? Do you put your CD on?
Not so much. I have, but I don't. Sometimes I do, just to hear it again. But no, not that much.
Who are you speaking to in your song? Who's your intended audience? Do you have an intended audience?
Anyone who will listen. Hey, you. Listen.
Hey, you
You
listen.
complete stranger. Listen.
Do you plan on performing live again?
Yes, I do.
Good. When? Pressure. So we can all show up.
Probably sometime in the summer. I'll say that.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
You have plans in your head?
Yes.
Oh. So you're going to come to me first so I can announce it?
Yes.
Yes. How do you think your music can enact change in our current society? If you're working on something new.
And I'm not.
Okay.
But I would like to be. Wow, that's a good question. I have to think about it more.
Okay.
I'm really not sure.
In the current political climate, how do you feel music impacts that? Or do you think music will help? Or can
Sure.
help?
I think the political climate is pretty outspoken right now, which is awesome, and I think a lot of young people and younger people are just totally getting involved, and I think that's great. And I wish it was reflected more in music. I don't think it is enough, but I wish it was.
Maybe you should write it.
I have written some.
No,
some
I
of those
mean,
kind of
but
songs.
tell me what songs.
White Picket Fence
Oh,
is
right.
one of my songs that's kind of about that, the American kind of disguise, vision of not being so honest.
Do you think people need to be more honest on a day-to-day basis?
Sure. Why not?
You're like, of course.
Except maybe our president should start.
You can talk about that.
Oh, yeah, I can't stand him. At all.
And yeah.
And my whole class can't stand him, and I haven't even said that much about him. And they're only 7.
They are only 7. They're smart 7-year-olds though.
Yeah, they are.
They're good. They're good kids. I feel like even though your songs are more, they're not ballady. They have a great.
Some of them are.
Yeah, but they have an energy of joy in them.
Oh, thank
Is
you.
that intentional?
Yeah, I think it reflects the kind of music I grew up with. So thank you.
Who are your influences?
Well, it goes without saying the Beatles. It's like, duh. I mean, I don't know if you don't necessarily hear that through my music as much, but they totally influenced me. And Motown was a huge influence. The radio was just like the best thing ever. Every single song that came out was great. There weren't any like side B songs. Yeah.
Explain your creative process of how you write your songs.
Usually I'll just play chords and I'll maybe come up with a melody, and then if I like that, then I'll maybe just start humming some words, and it takes a while. I haven't been as creative as I would like for a while, but if my memory serves me well, that's how I did it.
Are you from here?
Yes.
Oh, you are. Tell us about that.
I grew up in Tarzana, and it was a joyous, great time. Music was always part of my house. My brother was my biggest influence, and he always had music on. He was the first one to tell me about the Beatles. He was the first one to tell me about Laura Nyro, who's one of my hugest influences, and Carole King, Joni Mitchell, all the great songwriters of the past that have withstood time.
Are you more proud of your music or your lyrics?
I think my music. I think.
So you would consider yourself a musician? That's not the right word. We would call it a musician. What would you call it?
I mean, I write them both pretty much at the same time, but yeah.
What kind of picture are you trying to paint with your music?
I guess one of introspectiveness. Is that a word?
Sure.
Okay. And just sharing whatever is on my mind. Sharing the joy that I got. I loved music as a kid.
If you could have taken your life in a different direction other than teaching, what would you have done?
Music.
Music.
Yeah.
And how would you have done that path?
Good question. Well, you mean like what should I have done?
Well, if that's how you want to take it.
Well, I should have. This brings me to my my nemesis. I grew up, in the era of like the Depression. My parents grew up in that era. I didn't, but they did. And so risk taking and doing music was not really encouraged, let's say. That's all I ever wanted to do, though. And I think at that time, women songwriters, it was just hard. I never figured out, how do you make this a living? So although I would do it while I was teaching, and I performed a lot in LA, and it was kind of moving up, at some point I just had to like make a choice. I think if I had made a different choice and just kept going, I don't know what would have happened. I maybe would have had some success.
Now that you don't have the pressure.
Now is my time.
Right?
Yeah. To enjoy it again too. And I don't regret teaching, because I look back at my personality and I see that, I do enjoy giving that to kids so much, and I feel the most comfortable around them. I'm not like a super show-offy kind of performer, so I think you have to have a really thick skin to do music, and I think that my skin wasn't thick enough. But now,
yes,
that I don't need it for money, it's a different story.
Right, and sometimes that's when people are catapulted into.
Yeah, and I do miss it. For a while I didn't miss performing, and now I kind of do.
Why do you miss it so much?
Because it kind of takes you out of your comfort zone, and you kind of have a different identity when you perform, and you're kind of like, you walk away and go, wow, that was really kind of transformative. I did something I kind of surprised myself.
Did you ever want to collaborate with somebody else? Have you thought about working as a duo?
Would love to. I haven't had much success doing that because I don't really come across those people too much. I think I'd like to work in a band again. I miss doing that. I used to have a band.
Oh, what was your band called?
It was just my name. It wasn't really like a band name. But I was like Mary Tyler Mertz. Because it's like, Mary Tyler Moore and Ethel Mertz together. And my guitar. Mary Taylor Mertz. Because my guitar is a Taylor.
Oh.
Get it?
Oh, it's a Taylor. So you call it
Taylor.
Taylor. I get it.
Stupid.
That's not stupid.
Stupid.
That's not stupid.
I said it was stupid.
It's not stupid.
Okay.
If you could categorize your songs in 3 words, what would you say? 3 words. Narrow it down to 3 words.
Why'd you ask me this? It would be... Wow. I don't know. Major, minor, together.
First, what is the best moment you've ever had with your music?
When I got thrown out of the whiskey. That was really
Tell me, what happened?
Well, I played the whiskey a long time ago, and you were supposed to have at that time you had to pay to have your video, like to make a video out of it, and for some reason I think the machine, whatever, my friend who was doing it couldn't get the tape, so I went to the guy afterwards and said, could you like give me my $25 back because we don't have a tape. And he said no, and I was so upset, and I just took his Pepsi and and then they called security.
Oh yeah, tell me another one.
And then after that, I got booked at the Roxy, which actually was awesome. That was so much fun. That was probably the funnest gig I ever had.
Why was it fun?
Because the whole band was there, and it was just a great venue, and it was a highlight. It was a highlight, I tell you. I'd be happy to write some more music. I haven't written in a while.
Would you like other people to sing your music?
Sure. Please. Anybody.
You have a trunk of songs? Do you have a trunk of songs?
I do have a trunk of songs.
You do?
I do. Kiss me on Main Street. Say la 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 la, kiss me on Main Street. I'm gonna show you all the ways that you'll ever walk these days. All in a misty morning.
greatest day.